Hey, what's up, everybody? Edmund just jumped on my lap. Dave just got here, so yeah, plans to go old school tonight. Like I was kind of saying, when I do the ones with party size, a lot of people jump in and ask questions that we don't answer because we're kind of doing a theme. So kind of stick with that and stick with the people who are commenting based on the topic. So yeah, tonight I figured wherever the chat goes is what we'll do. We were talking a little bit about. I just I took the thumbnail for this stream I took from my photography channel, and actually that was the shot that didn't work out because I wanted the film to be in focus, and that's what the photography channel has. So I used one of the outtakes tonight because I was busy instead of making a new thumbnail. So it's completely unrelated. It was just since the live streams are always selfie photos, that's the one I used because that's what I had. So the stream is also from the intro I was watching. It's coming through just fine, but there is about a 20-second delay already. I don't know why. I think it was just when it started up. So just there's nothing I could do about that. It usually, if it's off a little, it gets off more throughout the night. So yeah, got the delay between what you're seeing. So when you type something, which is instantaneous, you're typing it to something I said 20 seconds ago, which is annoying because it throws me off. But that's usually why Large Marge's jokes go over my head because of the delay. So, oh, Edmund, how's it going, Scott? Naptown said, bike stuff. Thinking of buying that Crosscheck other Tim posted in the Discord because can't he break cross bikes are sexy. Yeah. Crosschecks are just cool. I, I know we talked about it when it happened, but certainly discontinuing it, I guess it's probably an overlap with other stuff they do, but man, it seems like, I don't know, man, it just seems like such a popular bike. But Robert said, do you think 1x9 is all right for the Ohio to Erie Trail? Dayton to Cleveland. Yeah, but again, 1x9 doesn't tell me anything. What is your 9? That's outside. There's really only a couple sections with hills. The main one is in Amish country, like outside Millersburg. But even those aren't they're not crazy steep. There's a couple fairly long, reasonably long for Ohio ones, but they're not that steep. And even on a loaded bike, long as you're, it really depends on what your 1x9 is. But that would be, even if you had to hop off, it would be in 2 short sections. So yes, I do think it is enough, depending on what your 1x9 is. But again, even if there was something that was too tough for you in your easiest gear, it would only be taxed for, I don't know, a half an hour on that route. Most of the route is flat bike path, canal tow path, rail trail. There's one section that you hit hills. So, and also a couple of the other hills are now mitigated because more of the trail is completed down there in Amish country. So there is still a little bit, but not much. So, oh, Naptown, you were saying even though it's like pretty old school setup, you would still have to buy a lot of components, so you'd still put a lot of money into it. Yeah, always a consideration. But the good thing is you could build a Crosscheck buying some used components still pretty cheap and have some good stuff. So, hey, what's up, Donald? Donald said, Donald's down in Cincinnati. Saw your first big snake on the trail today. Looked like a king snake. I actually don't know what a king snake is. So, oh right, Chuck Rogers used to shoot with the Nikon F. I think I have one original F here, but I think almost everything I have is F2s because the F2 doesn't say F2 anywhere on it, does it, Dave? Do you know? I don't think so. They look almost identical, the F and the F2.
I can't think.
Since I have a working F3, I never mess with the F2s I have. Like even the one you gave me, like that F3 worked, and I'm like the F2 looks cool as hell, and I put it like prominently on the shelf. But I do want to run some rolls through one of the F2s, like find the one that maybe doesn't need like light seals fixed or anything. But there's a thing you have to do with the F2, I think, where you put the lens on and you have to couple it a certain way. I think right when you put it on, you have to turn the aperture all the way one way and then all the way back. Yeah.
I know nothing, not much about Nikons.
And that's, yeah. I that's one of my goals is to go through all my Nikon lenses and learn the Nikon lens. What do you call it? Like family tree, because they kept the same mount from the F all the way up until they went mirrorless. All the way up until, 5 years ago maybe? Yeah. Every Nikon lens technically should work, or at least fit on every other camera. But, which is one cool thing about Nikons, and also why they kept value for so long. So, what's up, Christopher Webb? Yep, illicit feedback said, and again, this is where the delay comes in. It's more about range than number of gears. Yeah, Pathless Pedal, Russ talks about this all the time, and at his latest, he has that new Hotness series, which is so good. But he was saying about how they showed the first 14-speed group set, and he was like, all they're doing is cutting the pizza into smaller slices, and they're going 14, but they're not giving you you're not getting like an 8 as your hardest gear and a whatever you want to. I guess, what is the biggest rear gear now? I don't know in mountain biking gearing, but a 60, 50, whatever. You're getting the same gears just with less. You're just shifting less between them. So, what's up, Stack? Is audio on the low side? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Just cranked the audio up. It was turned down from last week because I was using a different mark. That, and I was talking to party size, so. Glad you told me that because it's always low, but yeah, that must have been especially low. So, Thanks, Brian. Do I think? Not elsewhere said. Do you think a B-17 is all right for Ohio hearing? That's a good. That's a good joke. Elliot said, "Can I give you good recs for 32 millimeter gravel tires?" I don't believe in that. I don't believe they're gravel tires if they're only 32 millimeters. But I also don't believe in cheap tires. So those are two things that go against that I would not have a good solution for, because 32 millimeters is too narrow for gravel. I think it's too narrow for road. So
32 is slim at this point.
32's narrow at this point. The pros are riding 32s. They're riding 32s. Pogacar's tires measured out to 35 at Paris-Roubaix. So obviously in typical road races like the Giro, they're probably still on more like 28s and 30s. But yeah, I don't know what your budget is. Gravel King makes gravel tires that are in 32s that they would call gravel tires, and those aren't incredibly expensive. So when I think incredibly expensive, I think Renaers and Ultra Dynamico, which I still spend the money on, but $100 a tire is $90 a tire is expensive. All right, a couple things I already talked about. What's up, Loaf Master? What's up, Dirty Rat? Okay, fix the audio already. Again, delay problems. What's up, Chuck Rogers? Just scared your dog with the volume boost. Oh yeah, sorry about that. It was a pretty considerable volume boost, which still is quiet on most people's devices. So, X by Grace said, "Evening, everyone. Just getting in from a wonderful ride along Shoal Creek here in Southwest Missouri." Yeah, I had open hours tonight at the store, and originally the forecast looked horrible, so I didn't even have riding in my plan. And I had to work today at two different places too far apart to be able to ride, which was a little bit annoying. The one benefit was on my drive to the first place, my buddy Eric, who runs the, what do you call that, Ohio City Bike Co-op, was on NPR, the local NPR station. So even though I was driving today, I got to listen to some bike chatting. So I forgot to pull that comment up. But what's up, T-Star? Yeah, 32s, cross tires, yeah. Elliot, you said, "Bro, my bike is 42 years old and can't fit anything more than like 35s. I'd get 35s then." There are 35s out there. I think actually Gravel King's the one I recommended are in 34 or 35. But I remember Funny Brad, who was on a couple weeks ago, telling me he had something that was actually marked 35. But again, the rims are going to change that, so. What is written on the sidewall is a rough estimate. Your rim combination is going to affect it a lot. Donald said, "I've done well with Kenda bike tires in that range." Yeah, Kenda is always affordable. And Kenda's an Ohio company, too. I have some Kendas here. I think they're 42s that Aaron won at Black Fork, I think, just in the raffle they used to do at Black Fork. They might still do it. I just haven't ridden Black Fork in a while. Running the Conti Ride Tours in 35 millimeters. A ride tour? I mean, would you consider those gravel tires? I'm trying to think of what I've got on my bikes with a little bit of grip. I do agree though with when we talk about gravel tires, if you're not going to be riding in the wet, like if you don't think you will be, it doesn't really matter. This is a Jan Hein from Renee Hurst thing, Renee Hurst thing as well. Gravel slips on gravel, like more than your tire slips on gravel. So if you're not going to be riding in like dirt and it truly is going to be gravel, it doesn't need to be a gravel tire. You don't need knobs on it or anything really. And when you look at even Gravel Kings that's what I have. I'm looking at a vintage Peugeot I have here with Those might be 38s, but still, they're Gravel Kings. I mean, that tread is not going to do much. You know, it's on anything but towpath, maybe. Yeah, and I mean, this is the whatever answer, but Googling, 32 millimeter gravel tires and a price range these days, AI is going to tell you exactly what exists. So, hey, what's up, Thrifty? What's up, Aringer? Just rode your bike after getting a new chain, cassette, and tune-up. Effortless pedaling. Yeah, I'm dropping the gunner at the shop on tomorrow, Wednesday. It needs Gunks did a number on it, but it was already. I don't do a bunch. I take my bike a little bit apart after nutmeg in the fall when it gets wet in those trips, but then I always wait till the spring to get like a. It needs a good tune-up. It's not shifting that great. It probably needs new cables and housings and whatever else they find. So, yeah, I'm excited to get that done. And basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the gunner to Dirty River, and then we still have STS bicycles. I made the video about it. They're Atlas. So Otis has been riding that and having fun on it. Said it just nice lightweight tube set. Just feels really nice. So basically that's the bike I'll ride till the gunner is ready to go. So what's up, T-Star? SRC, you said you rode 35 Bontrager hard case on a tandem across Spain off-road. Nice. And, I say this too. I mean, when I first got into riding off-road... Oh, got a super chat.
At Mr. Couch Incident super chatted $10. Here is some cash for film. I used to do astrophotography with Fujifilm and loved it.
Oh, thanks, man. I have to say, astrophotography, even with digital, is something I've never done at all. Did you ever mess with that?
Mm-mm.
And I always, whenever they review lenses, like Petapixel, my favorite YouTube channel for camera stuff, they always talk about the astrophotography capabilities of lenses, and I'm like, I always find it interesting, and I always listen, and I've never messed with it at all. I can't imagine doing it on film. Like, because now people, they even stack images to do really good astrophotography because your exposure can't be long, because people who don't do photography won't realize this, but the stars move. I don't think you can expose over like a minute without the stars actually starting to form lines.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. You would know, actually, Mr. Couch, but I'm sure. But yeah, the stars start to form lines, and you could go for that intentionally with very long exposures. If you point your camera at the North Star, you'll get circles from the other stars, which is very cool stuff. But if you're just trying to do, like, show what the night sky looks like, the exposures cannot be super long, which is kind of fascinating. Anyways, yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, and again, so back to the point with the like skinnier tires and off-road. I used to do that too when I first discovered like the industrial gravel stuff, which I've talked about a bunch on this channel. At that time, I was riding vintage road bikes. I'm just, as I get older, I just do not want to get beat up like that. And it's like, why get beat up like that?
At Mr. Couch Incident super chatted $2. Yay, it was 24 seconds keeping the shutter open.
Ah, 24 seconds is where it is to get it sharp. Interesting. Yeah, I knew it wasn't beyond a minute, but I couldn't remember exactly what, because I don't do it, the number was. And thanks again. Hey, what's up, Wes? From down in Texas. Danny Boyle from right here in Ohio. How's it going? Yeah, for me, it's like, even on the road, it's the comfort. That's why I ride my gravel bike everywhere. Like, even when I'm going to go fast, I just opt for my drop bar gravel bike. I always say this too, our roads aren't that great and you don't have to pay as much attention. And when I would ride my road bikes, and they're all vintage steel road bikes, so they're more forgiving, but I still just had to pay way more attention to what I was doing. Oh, my buddy Eric. Clunky said Schwabi CX Pros are 30 and you could do a lot with them, but if you have the space for 35, then totally do it. Yeah. I definitely push the clearance more than some people would. And whatever your frame manufacturer says the clearance is, there's 2 to 4, maybe 5, 6 millimeters more than that. But again, tires, they print something on the side, and it still totally depends on what the rim combo is with them. Astronomator said smart telescopes are the way to go for a rank beginner to astrophotography. Oh yeah, something I never would have even thought about. But the one dude, it's actually there's a dude who works at Earthquaker Devices who does astrophotography. I think it's Julie's nephew or something. But I saw him set up at a fest last year. He had some cool stuff. Dan was asking, so in my last video I was saying how my front shifter on the drop bar Raleigh has kind of stopped working. It's an Ultegra 11 speed. But yeah, I need to try, so real quick when I was at Dirty River on my about to do a group ride, Otis tried to blew it out with some air and tried to flush it really quick without taking anything apart, and it didn't help much. So it needs a full-on flush, and I know that because like my old Trek mountain bike, the front shifter would stop working, and when I cleaned it out really well, it would start working again. It just gets gummed up in there. Basically, like the tines are not clicking back into place. They're like staying, either open or closed depending on what the, I don't know when drop bar modern shifters, what the physics are going on in there, or the mechanism looks like. I know what they look like in old school flat bar, rapid fire shifters, but basically something is just not going back into place. There's a bunch of little gears and some little metal thing is not going back there. So flushing it out could work, but also those things do break because I had 105 shifters on there and they stopped working. So
Rob Serato subscribed to the channel.
Thanks, Rob. And that's why I switched the Ultegra that Pudgy sold me, because he had them already. So thing is, I'll look for some on eBay as well too if it doesn't fix. Pokemaster said, not just the stars move. When you got your eclipse photos 2 years ago, you had to use a calculator on a website to account for the movement of the sun and the moon. Yeah. The sun is a star, for the record, though. and I do think in people's minds they know that the moon is moving, right? So.
At Robert Wilson 6443 super chatted $2. When's the next group ride?
What's up, Robert? Do we have anything on the calendar now? No. We've talked about doing another Pittsburgh and Columbus one, but I do not have anything on the calendar as of yet. But if you're in the area, Dirty River does one every single Sunday at 10 a.m. So they also do Tuesday and Thursday group rides. Just follow the Instagram to see those if they're doing it. So. Yeah, anyways, on the astrophotography thing, I just think your average person doesn't realize how much the stars are moving in the night sky, even though if you really talked about it, they'd be like, oh, of course that makes sense. But yeah, the fact that they would start making lines in 24 seconds, I don't guarantee your average person would not think about that. Gray's talking about AI. Yeah, No, I don't think that AI is not inventing anything. All it's doing is taking all the words we've already said and distilling them. I mean, it's a word prediction thing, but if you talk to people who do coding, it's having a huge effect. Instead of typing that all out, they don't do it anymore. They have AI do it. I know people who do spreadsheets for a living. Instead of doing all that math, the AI does it. With my new analog business, I'll be honest, I use Google Sheets, and instead of trying to learn how, I never learned Excel, instead of trying to learn how to build a spreadsheet, I type it in plain English, and it makes the spreadsheet for me, like with all the columns I need. Like, I totally think data centers should be regulated. I think, energy usage should be regulated. I don't think it's on the consumer. I think it's on these corporations. But super useful for simple menial tasks, But yeah, on the bigger level, I don't think there have been any major breakthroughs. I think all it's done is eliminate the really boring stuff, you know. But this conversation, I do not want to go way down the rabbit hole all night on. I have very strong opinions on it as well, even though I've just admitted that I've used it for certain things. So, Brian said rim width is holding you back from going too much wider. Yeah, you could go wider than you would think. Like my vintage Peugeot has regular section rims from the era, and I've got 38s on it with no issue. And I don't know if Used Bikes is in here tonight, but he is all about using old school rims with wide tires. He likes the way it balloons them out. So, just really depends. Yeah. Getting through the brakes is an issue. Depends on the brakes as well. Some side pull brakes have that quick release mechanism, so you could pop them open. But yeah, I cannot count the amount of times I've changed a tire in a tube in a tire, pumped it up, went to put it back in, and you're like, God damn it, I can't get through these calipers. And then deflated it, pushed it back through, so for sure. Hey, what's up, Dennis? What's up, Pudgy? Need a full-on flush, too? Yeah, how long were you warrantying those Ultegra levers for? They've gone bad. I want my money back. I gotta be like another 8,000 miles in on those things, so. Mr. Trite, you said you have ridden both the Gap and the Katy Trails on 28 mil tires. Yeah, Aaron rode, I guess on 32s on the Gap. The Gap would be rough on 28s. I mean, and again, I know it could totally be done, but I haven't ridden the Katy Trail. I've watched videos, but I don't know what the actual granular conditions are. But if you're climbing up that hill on the Gap Trail, even when it was dry, that cinder is pretty rough, and there were washouts. Again, you could ride it on anything. You could ride it on 18 mil, I'm sure. It's just how comfortable do you want to be, So, and how much do you want to have to pay attention on a bike tour would be another issue. So, when me and Erin first rode the Gap, she was on her road bike with 32s, and I rode a vintage road bike that I had squeezed 38s into. And the last time I rode it on a vintage mountain bike with 2-inch tires, and it was way more comfortable. So yeah, it's not that it can't be done, it's do you want to do it. Clearance issues are mostly with brakes. Yeah, that makes sense. I do find, though, I've never had a vintage bike have a brake clearance problem where the calipers were touching the tire. It's always been the chainstays as the limiting factor. And again, I'm not the most expert in the world, but this is something that I've pushed the boundaries on. I could see on 4 bikes on my wall right here. So chainstays are usually the limiting factor, not your brakes on a vintage road cross type bike. So yeah, with Canty brakes, no problems, right? Yeah, 3W, I've talked about doing a summer group ride too. Plus, I would like for people to come into town when it's not completely gray and there's no green on the trees. I was also thinking with how above my expectations the group ride did last time, and I didn't prepare for it, so I felt bummed that I didn't really get to hang out the way I wanted to. Like, I didn't get to move through the group because it had always been a smaller group where we all talked, and then when we got to the brewery, there was just so many people, and I was like wondering if could we do something where we ended here and I just had like a food truck like out back in the alley or something like that where we'd all just be able to hang out, and summer would be when we could do that. Doing it at the time we do it when
That 3 Basie super chatted $4.99.
Thanks, man. Just talking about your comment right now. But yeah, summer would make it so it would open up more possibilities for being able to all hang out together more than March does, because even though we had a beautiful March this year, the other 2 years we wouldn't have been able to be outside. So a summer meetup makes sense. I'm more busy doing like my own thing a lot in the summer. I would just need to put it on the calendar and plan for it. So It is something I've been thinking about, and I have been thinking, like I said, thinking about the food truck thing, thinking about doing the meetup completely here and in the back alley that I have here, and how that could work. So it's something I've thought about posting in the Discord to get some opinions on what other people think. So anyone who has an opinion on a way to make that work better, I would also be interested in. I've talked with Aaron Novak, who some of you guys know through bikes or through his company too. He has a house that is almost in downtown Akron, and it has an orchard attached to it. It's this beautiful place. A couple years ago, he had talked about the fact that he could probably do like an overnighter in the style of Nutmeg or the other alt cycling events. It would have to be limited a bit, but then we'd also talked about what the route would be and all that. So there's also some possibilities there. I'd have to bring it up again, but Illicit said downhill racers used to use 2.3s and 17 millimeter wide rims. Yeah. Bailey, looking to get into analog photography. I've never shot any frame cameras. I think I actually just got one. I've been so busy, I'm finally getting through my stuff. But someone sent me a couple vintage cameras, and there's a little rolly in there, and I think that might be a half frame. But I've never messed with half frame. I still feel like just going 35 is the way to go. 35 is already a pretty small format, and you're not limiting yourself with scanners or who can develop it with half frame. It wouldn't change who could develop it, but you might run into some scanning issues and stuff like that. I feel like unless you have a specific camera in mind, like that new Pentax is a half frame. There's so many just regular 35 millimeter cameras out there to go with to get started, you know. Wes, you said you run tubeless on everything. I run tubeless on my main two bikes, which are 90% of my riding. So 45s on 700C on your gravel bikes, Crossbound Bora. Yeah. Oh, and you're running on your road bikes as well, 32 millimeters and 38s. Huh. .5-inch Rocket Ron on your mountain bikes. Yeah. I guess, well, I just don't. Yeah, I've never tried to figure out the tubeless setup on my vintage bikes, even though I know it would work, but I just don't ride them in the way that I'm as worried about it. But yeah, so yeah, my vintage bikes are just truly vintage, and I've just never messed with it. I run them tubed. But. Oh, new Ultegra lever fun. Thanks. Tim just needs someone to do all the talking for him on his runs. Wes, you would come up, yeah. Be a lot more comfortable for you to ride up here in the summer, being from Texas. Than was our weather? I'm trying to remember when we met up if our weather was still good. We were sitting inside, so it couldn't have been that nice when I met you at Magic City. R.I.P. But all right, I gotta cross my legs the other way, Edmund. This is the most jostle-free cat ever. There's not many cats that would let you deal with them like this. I'll also grab another beer. I tweaked my neck last night in my sleep, and it's not affecting me on the stream much, but man, on my 2 photo gigs today, when I tried to turn my head to talk to someone next to me, it was horrible. I think my one contact who from the hospital that I love, and I don't see that often, he was standing on that side of me, and that's the side it is, and I had to do like the
Kept
full
turning
body
the whole
turn,
body, yeah.
and there wasn't time to explain what was going on because it was like this nurse's day lunch,
Right.
and like we don't get to talk that much, and it was about to start, and we're chatting, and I have to do this full on like weird ass like pivot towards him. Oh, that's what Novak and Brad are for, talking. So we did film, by the way, if you guys didn't see any of the other stuff where I showed a little bit of behind the scenes, we did film an interview with Large Marge for the first of the new Gravel Badass series. But again, I just been mentioning last weekend is like the weekend I kind of slow down a little bit after. So hopefully I'll get to getting all that edited and show it. But someone also asked in the comment, it was a English guy. He said you guys don't, and he used the British phrase, take the piss out of each other, which I would say talk shit to each other. And I was like, we do, but, and I haven't responded to all the comments yet, but I was like, how would you make that come across in a video? And it's been one of my considerations for a long time, even our humor when we're riding together on a tour. We would have to either, one, fake reenact it, which is never going to feel the same, or I tell the story, which I try to do sometimes, but again, it's like you had to be there, you know, and that
Right.
doesn't work. So, like, I've already answered this guy's comment in my mind, but I haven't actually done it yet. But it's just like, oh, we do that. Like, watch the live stream with me and Brad. Like, as people always comment, like, that's all we do is, like, talk shit. But in an actual video, like, on a bike tour or on a bike ride, how do you get that natural conversation to come across? It's not really possible. And it's not even just cycling related. Like, you turn a camera on someone and they're not the same. They're aware that they're being filmed. And so I don't really know how you do that. It comes across once in a great while. I'll capture some clips where, you know, Ben and Aaron may be chatting or whatever, but it's like it's a really interesting thing to think about when you're making videos. And because basically the guy was saying, I was on the Gunk's Not Dead video, you guys are all, you Americans are so polite. And I thought that was funny. I don't think that's a general international view of Americans. But either way, I know what he was talking about. He meant probably in the bike community or whatever, where he knows him and his friends talk shit to each other. But it's like, you also can't publicly talk shit about someone in a YouTube video that you're good friends with, because it doesn't translate that it's a joke when there's a social norm of talking shit to someone you're close enough with. When I meet someone at a bike event for the first time, I wouldn't be, you don't have that closeness to talk shit. You only do that with people you're close with. You know what I mean? Like, me and
I
you
mean,
would
you
talk.
could. You would just come across.
Yeah,
as
you
a
just come
total
across as
dick.
an asshole. Yeah. Like, I could talk shit to Dave because we've known each other for over a decade, but I can't do that to someone I've met for. And I don't know, maybe there's a cultural difference in some of that stuff. I have a friend who worked in, I think it was one of the Dakotas for a while, and she said it was so weird to get used to that. They didn't. She said people who were close to each other did not joke around that much. It was actually Simone worked up in like some native cultures up there, and just with the population, she was like, it was so hard to fit in because humor wasn't the way that they all got along.
Huh.
And I can't even imagine. Cause
Oh,
all
that
we
would be
do is-
terrible.
yeah, that's all I got. Whether someone just died or whether we did something fun together, like jokes is all I got.
Yeah, the more you're getting roasted on is the better the relationship
Yeah.
is.
I can't remember who it was, but I remember like Johnny said that someone told him that we always like talk shit. He's like, oh, that means they like you.
I can't think of his name now that
Yeah.
you mentioned him. His cousin.
Yeah. He was like, if they didn't talk shit to you, then they
Yeah, the fact that they're even talking to you.
yeah, they look in your
Oh, what the
direction.
hell was his name?
Was it was it
Anthony.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was Anthony? I couldn't remember who it was, but yeah. If we're just being like polite and talking to you in passing, yeah, we don't.
Yeah,
don't
we
like
actually hate your
you. Yeah, we
guts.
hate your guts. If we're telling you we hate your guts, we like you. Anyways, I thought that was an interesting comment, but I'm like, huh. I guess I'd never think about when someone's narrating a video. I know I'm not getting their full personality. That's one thing I enjoy about doing the live streams is I think that's when my actual personality can come out. It's not that I'm pulling punches in the videos. It's just, like I said, it would either be like you had to be there or we're reenacting stuff, which would seem, I just don't think, I don't know how you could make that seem authentic. Hey, what's up, Bradley? Oh, Bradley, I haven't posted it yet, but some film that I shot at Gunk's Not Dead, and there's a couple photos that I think are pretty cool with you, so I'll get those posted soon. I'm guessing you left a word out there, Wesley, which could be a lot of things. Your bicycles, Tim. It could be, hate your goddamn bicycles,
Yeah,
Tim.
your bikes suck.
Love your bicycles. Oringer, you have 2 tickets to see the Strokes mid-June. Where are you seeing them? I'm not going to see your response to this for a long time, but maybe Dave could update me. You're seeing where are they playing here? Are they playing at Blossom? Because they've been
I-
playing big festivals. They
I don't
played like
think
all
it. I don't think it's as big as Blossom.
I assume it's somewhere in Cleveland. I mean, I would, to be honest, I would, even when I go up to Cleveland, I look at Airbnbs. But I also have friends everywhere in this area, so I stay with friends half the time too. But yeah, I'm really annoyed that they are doing they're doing one of these things. Their album doesn't come out till the end of the summer, and they're touring this summer. Why? Why? It's already recorded. It's already done. Like, put it out digitally. You know what I mean? Like, it's so annoying. Why do I want to go and hear songs for the first time live? That just doesn't make
Oh,
any sense.
I hate that.
I like bone up when I go to see a band. I want to know like all the songs.
It is Blossom.
Oh, they are playing Blossom. You could camp out in Erin's backyard. She lives within walking distance. She would not want me to offer that up. But yeah, she literally does live walking distance to Blossom. There is, man, where would you stay? I mean, in Cuyahoga Falls, like one of the hotels out here would be, the Sheraton would be the more expensive, nicer one. If you're going to stay at a hotel to go to a Blossom show. But again, I would look up Airbnbs around here. I think you get somewhere better. But Blossom is in the national park, right on the edge of it. So in one direction, there is nowhere to stay, besides a couple little camping spots. But because you're on the edge of the national park, so you'd be looking at Airbnbs in Akron or in Cuyahoga Falls, so or the hotels. But you're on a boring freeway motel. Or
Oh
hotel.
yeah, it's definitely just like a
Yeah.
like a business type. You have to be staying there.
Yeah, Blossom's awesome. It's an awesome place. It's beautiful, but that is one of the things about it. It's in the national park, so it's actually an old farm. It was the Bender farm because Irvy got in a fight with his brother and. want all my nerdy history? I know way too much about this stuff. It was 40 degrees when you were out here, Wes. Yeah. Oh yeah, you came through Akron twice. That makes. I mean, it could go anyway. It could go either way. Late October, November, in Akron, it could be 40. It could be 60. You know, it could be snowing. Neck issues, old. Oh man, I actually threw my neck out in college, and I've had a weak spot in it ever since then. Just drying my face off after a shower. But remember when I did it on the farm, and I like was crashing the tow motor into stuff because I couldn't turn and unload the truck. Johnny yelled at some kid. He's like, "Tell him where to go. He's got a bad neck." And I'm like, "Thank you." Yeah, it's totally my fault, but yeah. I assume someone dropped that Discord link already. Yep. Wes, you said first trip 40-ish degrees, second trip 40 descending into snow. Yeah, that's right. When I met you at Magic City, I rode down and had a lot of clothes on. I say that admitting I have thumb issues thanks to my keyboard. Yeah, I think you said you'd been here before, though, but yeah, Northeast Ohio is a completely different place in summer, even early fall. So. Busting balls is the way, yeah. Oh, Wes does like the bike. Donald said the USA and the UK are divided by a common language. I do feel, though, from watching, like, even GCN, that the idea of shit talking is pretty similar among people who are close to each other, you know. We should all get drunk and test that shit talking theory like a fast track course. I what Like, I probably don't want to spread any personal details, but that's especially funny knowing what you've told me in person, Wes. Yeah, Ninja, and I think that's what I'll do is I will drop that link to that guy. I'll be like, oh, just watch. I'm not trying to plug you watching a 2-hour stream, but go watch 10 minutes of this, and you'll see what me and Brad are really like when we're together. So, hi, what's up, Samuel? Just record every second of your ride. Simple. You know what's interesting is my buddy Aaron, who goes on YouTube by Surly Old Man, records. I think he records almost his whole rides, and he does catch a lot of banter with his like Chesty, and I've noticed that, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. And I only record in clips, which I've talked about because I record at like 5.3K HVEC files. They're massive. If I recorded everything all the time, and if you guys have seen what hard drives cost now, because of AI, they're insane. But it's like, yeah, I do have other GoPros, and mounting some and keeping them running, it would also still take going back and remembering when something happened and blah, blah, blah. But it is a way to, I know that was kind of a joke, but it is obviously something that does work, is just having one run. On our summer bike tour last year, I did keep a GoPro mounted. My idea by that was when we were talking, I don't want to ruin a conversation by flipping on a GoPro, but if something cool was happening, I would hit the mounted GoPro and turn it on just to get some footage of something that I didn't feel like ruining our vacation, by pulling out my other one. So I've already kind of done that, just with a different intent. So yeah, being roasted is a sign of love, for sure. Talk shit in a country full of guns. And again, that goes back to you only do it to people you're close with or well enough. Oh, and this is what Thrifty says right here. I think a handlebar mounted cam has the advantage of catching banter during rides. Yeah. It's just, and again, it would have to be a second cam because it's just not the way I like to film. It doesn't, people ask me all the time, how do you catch the dynamic footage? And it's by not mounting my camera. So. Ed Walker, oh, my old comment was well timed for shit talking. Apparently, I'm not nice. Well, I think the tradition of this stream has always been that everyone talks shit to me. Illicit asked, did anyone see the Radivus thing on the titanium sunliner? I have not looked at that yet, but again, like I've been mentioning, that was interesting to see the comments, but I'm behind on everything. Naptime, you said the last time you ref Derby in Akron. What would that mean, Derby? The home team got into a bench clearing fight with a team from Kentucky. Now it's super confusing because you use Kentucky and Derby.
Roller derby.
Oh, roller derby. I was going to say he's used Derby and Kentucky in the same sentence. This is a horse race?
Reffing horses?
Yeah. Tim crashing the tractor drug test him. Well, we didn't have to worry about that on the farm. Nothing was by the book.
Yeah, right.
They went drug test. That would cost money.
They'd run out of tests, not because of the drugs, just because we kept running into everything.
Whatever happened to Yo Mama jokes that used to be an American tradition? I think they're still out there.
I haven't heard a good Yo Mama joke in a while.
Me and Mina always used to say Your Mama jokes. Remember the art museum used to have that installation outside, and it was a bunch of like bones sticking up.
Yeah, yeah.
And one of me and Mina's favorite was, "Your mama's so fat she ate the meat off of all them bones." I always liked "Your mama's so tall" jokes. I don't even get why that's an insult. But that was always like, always a funny, like, "Your mama's so tall." And I don't know, is that like a the tall thing, like insult a black thing that I don't understand, like an African American culture thing? Because it was like a, "Your mom's so tall she bitch slapped the man on the moon." Well, we'll bring it back. We're starting tonight. Have Dread said you could always run a mic, use any audio under B-roll. That is true, but again, it's like, think of like sorting through that on a
Having to find all that.
3-hour ride.
Right.
Like, where was the funny bit? That's why I film in clips, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't, if I filmed everything, I would never get the videos out. And again, I'm weekly or bi-weekly with the videos, so. Unless it's Cat Williams roasting Kevin Hart. Mr. Couch, you said you record all your rides and just run it. I know people do that. I guess I have developed a workflow for what I do for my YouTube channel, and it's hard to break because I've got it so dialed in. Yeah. Yeah, we have roller derby in Akron. Yeah, it's actually above that brewery we always go to, Missing Falls, in the old Goodrich building. So, Yo Mama runs a torque disc. Your mama's teeth so yellow I can't believe it's not butter. Yo Mama joke stream with Brad. There is in the group chat for my close bike friends. There is a mom's joke about Yonda's mom, about Brad's mom, that has been ongoing for years now. So I guess they've never died to me entirely. That's a good point, Ed Welker. Yo Mama jokes have historically been replaced with "that's what she says" jokes. I agree. That's true. Naptown said there are 4 roller derby leagues in Indy. Huh. Your mom is so tall she did a cartwheel and kicked God in the back of the head. Your mom is so hairy Bigfoot was taking pictures. Yeah, I don't, yeah, I think everything, just like everything, like every generation or era has its like set of things, and then they kind of move on. I think you're right, Naptown, like, or I think Ed Welker said that, just that. It always makes it funny. I always really liked the, it's Todd Snyder, that musician I really like, who passed away last fall. He talked about how he likes to be like just too late to something, and like me and Pete always got a kick out of that too. Do you remember like after Apollo 13 came out, everybody was saying, "Houston, we have a problem."
Oh,
And
yeah.
it got, everyone said it for everything, and then like right when it died down is when we started saying it all the time. You know, like and Todd Snyder was talking about that, and he called it post-hit pre-retro, and that's like my favorite quote. And I wanted to make a sticker. I actually have a couple loosely designed, like kind of on a bike thing, because I feel like that's always where I fall with bikes as well.
Right.
It's but yeah, post-hit pre-retro I think is the perfect description of that. What size tire do you recommend to ride over your mama's neck fat? Yeah. People do it. I mean, I think like I think Terry B usually lets his camera runs too, and man, that was horrible. Lets his camera run too, and then edits it down. That's just not the way I film. Like more on a bike tour, I know it means I miss stuff once in a while, but I really like, we're crossing a cool bridge. I'm like, oh, there's a cool bridge. I do it like, I guess it's a very photographer mentality. I only film when I think something is visually entertaining and needs to be part of the story, and that's how I do my videos. And so when I edit, I've explained this a couple times, and I know people want me to make a full video, which is in the plans, but I'm literally just linearly going through my footage, and I'm basically just cutting off the beginning and end of each clip where I need it to go. And if I let it run, in my mind, I'm like, I let it run for a reason. So I like look at the beginning, I'm like, oh, there's something here. And then I pan through and I'm like, oh, there's the thing that I didn't shut it off because I would have had to just turn it right back on for. But in my mind, it's like I know that if I caught this clip, there was a reason I caught this clip. So I'm like, I'm looking at the clip in the preview monitor, and I'm just like, it's 10 seconds. I'm cutting it to 5 seconds, dropping it in the timeline. Next one. It's 15 seconds. Why did I go 15 seconds? 7 seconds into the timeline. That's really how I'm doing it. And like that fast too. So like for the voiceover videos, I'm literally going through and just like doing it like nonstop and then going back and doing the voiceover. And I might stop to take notes, or I might have taken notes previously. But yeah, the vlogs are the easiest. My last video, that's the easiest thing for me to edit because I talk to the camera. So it's just like I'm looking and I can see the waveform. I'm like, oh, here's where I'm talking. And I cut that, put it in, be like, oh, there's a couple ride clips I had to tie the story together. And it's just like, bam, bam, bam. My workflow is super tight. Certain videos where I decide like they need to be more, like the last Nutmeg video, I put a lot more production value into and knew that I wanted to have like an intro and different things. I did a little bit of that with Gunks, being like, I want to hit like a bam, 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 bam intro and then circle back to the beginning, stuff like that. But yeah, in general, it's very, I don't want to say formulaic, but I guess it is in a way. Ed Welker on the post-hit pre-retro. So Todd Snyder wrote a book, and it's great. At the timing it actually came out, he kept, like, after he mentions the post-hit pre-retro thing, he talks about, like, high fives, which everyone was giving high fives back in the day when we were at the bar. But he keeps saying that after he makes a joke in the book. He's like, high five. And it's, like, exactly that. Like, exactly the way I love to use it. Like, just, like, slightly out of date. Like, use the skater trick, wave your hand in front of the camera when something cool happens. Yeah, and GoPros have a way to put marks in as well. Like, so, whatever. It would be natural to me if I tried to do it, but it's either hitting, like, the power button when it's already recording or something like that. There's only 2 buttons on GoPros. But you can, like, put in those. But again, that's still just another thing you have to do after. It's up to, you know. Ed Welker said, here's a question. What am I known for on bike tours? Being stupid and wearing DeBrim. Where did... Man, there's like a... I think it was in the Discord. We went down a long DeBrim rabbit hole. That was pretty funny. Blaze said, when it comes to bikes, post-hit pre-retro describes the sweet spot for function and versus affordability, for sure. Tim, what do your friends mock you for on bike tours? So our stuff is like, it's like that whole close friend thing where the bike thing isn't even really relevant. It's someone pronounces something wrong. Like Brad once in the group chat typed, and it was the perfect time to type it. He was going to try and type when in Rome. But he got auto-corrected and it said when I'm Rome. And now... anytime something comes up like that and Brad's around, everyone says when I'm Rome. You know, it's like that stupid stuff that only friends do. And again, that's why it wouldn't translate into a YouTube video, right? It's funny to us to say that because we know he blew like the perfect moment and he's the one who ended up getting made fun of instead of making fun of someone else. It's pronouncing something wrong, like holding a vowel too long, and you know, there's one time when Ben was like, "Oh, I like fudge," and it came out like it just came out goofy, and like now anytime there's a chance to talk about candy, like someone's gonna say like, "Oh, is it fudge?" You know, like it's that stupid shit. You know, it's not so much like I remember that time you couldn't keep up because that's not the kind of people we are. You know, I mean, we do throw those jokes in there, like, and I threw it in the Gunks video about why weren't me and Brad together because I dropped him on the climbs, and I did kind of throw it. I was like, I guess I'm just too strong, like whatever. But that's not really where our humor is. So it's the very Seinfeld thing. It's why Seinfeld was so popular. It's a group of friends with their own nicknames and making fun of different places, and Tim's known on the group rides for letting air out of people's tires and putting beer in people's water bottles. Yeah, and then it's like if someone like talks too much shit, it's like about then all of a sudden pretending like you're taking it seriously. Just all that. Yeah. I googled Todd Snyder post-hip pre-retro, and I don't need a hip replacement surgery. Read YouTube some of Todd Snyder's stories, because just watching him tell some of his stories, even if you don't like his music, is great. Like YouTube his Slash story. Google Todd Snyder Slash story, and watch him talk about this Slash story live. Yeah. Even if you don't like the song he plays after it, I love his music, but it's definitely not for everybody. Rick Urbandonsky was a DeBrim supporter. Yeah. Pine cone, yeah. Calling someone a pine cone. Brad got mad at me and called me a pine cone, and that's I even have the pine cone emoji in here now, but that's not even like a. Yeah, it's hilarious. I use it in the comments on people who are actually just like dicks sometimes, and it's so funny because I know it makes them stop and think. They're like, "Is that a thing?" It's like, listen, you stupid pine cone. The Brim makes sense because anyone watched our bike tour last summer, we spent a day in the country, which we usually don't do on a hot day, and we all got fried. And now we're all like thinking, I never wear suntan lotion, and now I have suntan lotion. Same with the caps. When I went down to Florida, I bought that. Actually, bought it at this brewery, Cigar City. I bought a big brimmed hat and wore it the whole entire ride to keep the sun off my neck and face. But yeah. I hate when the chat stops and then just jumps like 5 comments. 100% Naptown. Man, Todd Snyder never should have died. That's one of the worst stories I've ever, one of the worst things. But I was trying to get a laugh, no offense intended whatsoever. Now I'm apologizing. Putting beer in people's water bottles. Does he also put cash in people's wallets? My leg's falling away. Sleep this way now, Edmund. We gotta switch back. You want to say hi? I know you hate it, actually saying hi, but in person he loves to say hi. On camera, he looks like the most miserable person ever, cat ever. T-Star, you said you saw that I'm in Earthquaker pedals. Do you also play guitar? No, I photograph their pedals. So my commercial photography business is why I do that. But I'm friends with all those guys. I've known Jamie, the owner, forever. Me and Dave's band used to play with his band when he was in House Guest and stuff. But yeah, I used to play bass. I don't play guitar anymore. But that's how I know all those guys and how I have them as a client. So, but yeah, I never played with. Our music was pretty straight ahead, rock and roll. So for bass, I never used pedals or anything like that. Also, I have no understanding of musical talent. I just played.
Just played real fast.
Dave could tell if the drums were in tune. He was our first drummer that cared about tuning his drums. Eric always played around with the key, but he didn't know what he was fucking doing. Because we went in to record once, and the guy was like, "Do you mind if I tune these drums?" I thought I had tuned those drums. Also, if you don't like Todd Snyder's music, you're wrong. Yeah. being talk about talking shit, and then I'm being nice about that, but that is my opinion too. Was that around the same time, Wes? Yeah, it must have been. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it all happened right around then. That's true. Hey, what's up, Ricky? Michigan biker. I need a guy on my rides to put beer in my bottles. Man, it's so funny. I know we're just joking, but the idea of beer in my water bottle disgusts me. So even when we used to I remember doing bike parties and slow group rides with people. But we'd always buy something like white wine if we were going to put it in our white water bottles. Something that I generally don't really drink because then you don't really care. Or you can make. I know Kenny does a mix of Gatorade and tequila in his water bottles. You could do something like that, but you can't beer.
No.
You do not want to squeeze beer through a water bottle. It's just plastic in general. It's so It's just... Oh, really, Wes? You have 3 Earthquaker pedals. Nice. Yeah. I mean, some people don't like to hear it, but they invented the boutique pedal business. I mean, pedals were just like their typical pedals before that, made by your Fenders and your Gibsons, and there was a couple smaller brands, but Jamie really got that shit going, and now everyone does it. I just said micro brim and you gave a sunscreen response. Ouch, that usually kills. I was photographing my nephew's senior night for baseball at a high school yesterday, and his older brother, so my other nephew, walked by and I said, "Where are you guys all walking to now?" He's like, "Oh, we're going to get photographs." And I was like, "That's what I'm doing." He's like, "Hey, Uncle Timmy, I'm just trying to make small talk. I guess it didn't land." I was like, talk about a dry joke. Thank God. Bummed I missed that. We got 3 new cats running around here. You can have them all. No, don't bring them this way. One had a small squirrel in his jaws. That's a good cat, not a bad cat. Get those chipmunks that destroy my garden. Used to have a tuner, tuner and overdrive. That was like it back in the day, right? Squirrels are tree-based rats. Oh, heading down to the bike shop tonight, but you got out too late. Yeah. At West, I think you're still talking about Earthquaker pedals. Yeah, Jamie knows what he's doing. There's no doubt about it. Just from the musicians, it's not my expertise, but just from the musicians who are super into them, it's obvious. And also, there's certain classic pedals that he'll reconfigure. They've also scored a bunch of analog stuff from Eastern Europe to make, certain things. Again, I don't know. They make great YouTube videos about it all. That's when I photograph them before they're released and have no idea what they do, and then I watch the YouTube video. I'm like, oh, that's what this pedal's for, The bass player in your last band loved Hawaiian Punch mixed with vodka. That guy was a mess. That sounds like a mess. When Edmund needs a little brother. It's funny because everyone's like, the common advice is if you have a cat, you should have 2 cats. I'm here enough that I don't feel like it's necessary. And when I'm gone, I do have Jeff upstairs who loves them and takes care of them. So I really don't want to mix. I don't want to mess with our relationship. The other thing is I had 2 cats they were together for 16 years and they didn't like each other. They didn't get in physical fights. They just avoided each other. So from my personal experience, I'm scarred by 2 cats. It was always such a bummer. And they were similar cats too. They had the same routine. They both came to bed every night at the same time, and they slept on either side of me. But they would not yeah, only when eating would they ever be near each other. It was make a big arc around each other. If one's laying in the center of the floor, the other one would like make this big arc trying to get across the room, and I would was like, "You idiots!" you know. But yeah, your nephew taking the piss is the funniest thing tonight. Yeah, and I wish I could describe because he is like the least excitable of anyone in the family. Like he comes across as the least passionate, the most monotone. So yes, the fact that he like that's why I didn't even realize he was making a joke is because it's just unexpected, you know. So it's funny. I don't, man. We talked about trying to do a reunion. I played a couple times, and yeah, I just don't miss it that much. I have a couple guitars here. I never touch them. If I sit somewhere and there's like an acoustic next to me, I might pick it up and strum it a little bit. I was never good. That's the thing. Like, I got very good at playing bass, but I'm not musically inclined. I just got good by doing it nonstop, and basically, it was. I have a sense of rhythm, and it was all memory. Like it was just all by super hard work, but it was math to me. I knew where I need to see the dots. Like I could barely tune the thing, but people came up all the time and are like, and I don't say this in a cocky way because I'm telling you I wasn't that great. Like you're the best bass player I've ever seen. It was all just playing to what the guitar player taught me. Like there was no like, again, you develop a skill by doing that over and over again. So it's not like I couldn't come up with anything, but yeah, if I was slightly out of tune, I would never know it. Like I don't have that. Like don't like having more than one pet per adult in the household. Yeah, there's only one of me, so there's one cat. Rubat said, I've seen cats that were sharing a space where one cat basically jailed the other. Yeah. Aaron took in that, my girlfriend Aaron, that third cat. Her two cats are friendly. They'll lay together once in a while, but they're not like, what do you call that? Like bonded or something like that. But she got that stray that she was going to give away, but then it had all those medical problems and she never could. And so that cat wants to hang out with the other two, and they want nothing to do with it. So, his name's Mr. Meowgie, by the way. He's just giant fluff ball that just wants so bad to play with the other two, but they are not into it. So, yeah. What's the difference between a vacuum cleaner and a bassist? The vacuum cleaner has to be plugged into suck. I should tell the story, which I've probably told before, but I know it's my friend Micah, who I ride with, favorite story. But were you in the band at this time? No, this is probably Eric. We were playing at Pat's in the Flats. Did you ever play down there? This is probably way long ago.
I think we did once.
Yeah. We started playing, and like the first few songs, I was just off. It just wasn't hitting. I wasn't hitting the. I was just off. It took me a minute to get into it, like, which that's how it goes sometimes. And I could tell I wasn't playing well. And halfway through, it went fine. I got into it. I was playing fine. But we were 3 songs in, and between song 3 and 4, some guy in the crowd yelled out, "Play a song your bass player knows." and I knew he was like right. I was so off that it was just like one of those, like, couldn't make a comeback. You guys know me. I could be a smart ass. I was just like head down, like nothing to say. Like this dude is spot on. He noticed this guy knows music and he knows I'm not doing it right. So yeah, but again, like those, almost all my bass. I would tell Pete, our guitar player, once in a while that I wanted the bass to do this, and then he would show me how to do it. That's the kind of bass player I am. Like, I know music. Like if I listen to a song, Erin always talks about this. She's like, I have no idea how many guitars are in that. I'm like, well, there's one guitar doing this, one guitar doing this. The bass is doing this. Like, these are the drums. Like, there's a tambourine. Like, so I'm not, like, unaware. Like, I do know music pretty well. I just don't have the talent to translate what I'm, like, hearing really is more of my thing. So, but I could use that. So I could use my knowledge of music to my advantage, and then my work ethic at music back in the day. Who was I telling this story to the other day? me and Pete, when we were younger, before we had ever played a show, we lived on the same street. And there was one summer we worked at Blossom that we were talking about. We were maintenance, so we worked during the day. We had an hour lunch, and we were so into playing that we would pack our lunch. We would drive from Blossom back to his mom's house, eat our lunch on the way there, jam for a half an hour, and then drive back to Blossom for 15 minutes just to get that extra half an hour during the day of playing it. Like, that's how intense we were. And that's why people thought I was a good bass player, because it's just all we did, you know. And now that's why I'm a really average bike rider, too, because it's all I do. I could punch above my weight class on bikes. I'm not super skilled. I'm never going to be great at bunny hopping. I'm not going to be a great mountain biker, but whatever I'm into, I take to it pretty hard. If it wasn't for the squirrels, we would have a lot less trees. You mean like them spreading the like acorns and stuff? Probably. But now that we have all these trees, and now that the city plants most of them, we could get rid of the squirrels. Squirrels aren't my issue. It's the chipmunks. I hate the chipmunks. Those dudes destroy everything. Tune in fists and play the cello, and also become an average bike rider. T-Star said, you will rarely find an unemployed bass player. People ask me all the time. Do you remember that at shows? They're like, hey, do you want to join our band? And I'm like, I already have a band. They're like, well, what about this one? I'm like, no, I just... People... We had friends who did that. They'd be in like 10 bands.
Mm-hmm.
One was too much. I still have friends who play in a bunch of bands. Yeah. Still having friends who play in one band seems crazy at this age. What were you? Are you playing at all now? You were playing for a while.
No.
You're not playing at all?
Yes and no.
What does that mean?
A buddy, the house I lived in does a Halloween show every year, and every couple years my buddy convinces me to do a cover band.
What was the one you were in, like the boy band or whatever?
Harry Styles.
I only know that name. A Harry Styles cover band, but it was only one show?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
We practiced like 3 times, and it was a mess.
I've always wanted to do one of those Halloween shows. Like, me and Pete do the jam. Like, I mean, we'd be so
Oh, that'd be cool.
good at it. It's just... Yeah. Man, what was the one I went to one at Akron Recording Company where they did Amy Winehouse. It was Brad Thorla's wife. And
Yeah.
man, she can sing. And there was Corey and Matt Haas. So, like, amazing, like, music on top of it. And then, who else played that night? Oh, that's when Justin Seeker did Tom Petty. He did Zombie Tom Petty, and it was amazing. They got offers after that. Like, there were some YouTube videos, and they were getting offers to, like, go on the road as Tom Petty. Have you ever had any goose issues on the towpath? Only every single time I've ridden the towpath. Yeah, they're horrible. Ben actually ripped a brake off his single speed when we were riding together, because they don't move out of the way. Yeah, Canadian geese are the worst. What's the difference between a bass player and a large pizza? The pizza could feed a family. The idea of chipmunks running around murdering cars sounds endearing. What's the range of a bass? About 30 feet if you've got a good arm. I feel like drummers are always the hard one to get, right? I mean, I guess everybody wants to be a guitar player.
Like you said, everybody, you look at the local drummers and they're always in like 10 different bands.
Yeah. Drummers, yeah. And when we had Eric, he was in a couple bands for a while. What was the name of his other? Man, he had a band with a pretty funny name. Oh, cock spaniel. Shit. The band he was in when I was in college, way before I knew him, was the Cheatin' Hussies, which they were a great punk band. Ricky said, Tim, I'm watching you on Strava. Do you ever sit still? I feel like too much lately, but... Yeah, oh yeah, the baby geese are cute for a while. And then when they're adolescent geese, that's when they learn how to be assholes. And the baby ones run out of your way. And even like the slightly adolescent one, you're like, when are they learning to be an asshole and just stand in my way? Least friendly Canadians, 100% Ninja. I don't have to worry about squirrels too much around here, Ricky, because we don't have any, like, the alley doesn't have a lot of oak trees, but they do come to my bird feeder and eat the seed sometimes. Yeah, I don't worry about goose shit as much, even though there's a lot of that out there. But how many bass players does it take to change a light bulb? None. The keyboard player will do it with his left hand. Never love some piano on recorded music, but wouldn't want a keyboard in any of the bands I've been in live. It would really change the vibe. But that's not to say I don't like any bands with keyboard players. I love Blondie. You know, it's another good band with a keyboard player in it. At the Clash, they never had one. Like maybe later they had someone on stage, but their records. If you listen to the Clash records, there's always a piano in the background. Avoiding goose shit will turn you into Matthew Vanderpool. Still have goose shit on one of your bikes that won't come off. Yeah. Blondie was the best I could do for keyboard. I think that's a pretty high mark. Especially early Blondie. I don't know. Yeah. First Blondie record? I'm trying to think. I am like drawing a blank on like a band that Stranglers. I mean, that's all keyboard, right? And I like their early music. That would be the most keyboard heavy band that I probably like. Would be the Stranglers. Yeah, they don't. Bands with keyboards are not like the most up my alley thing. I'm trying to think of who else there would be. Name someone. Let's hear a couple people sound off about keyboard bands with keyboards in it. What about Keytar? Devo. I guess Devo. That would be that stupid overlook. Being from Akron. Billy Joel. Sure. Unless he's doing one of his acoustic songs or acapella songs. Had a female wild turkey in your backyard. Erin just saw a couple in her yard last week for the first time. Cats in the hood didn't know what to think of her. Do organ players count? I feel like organ players are different than keyboard players. I mean, they are, but there weren't keyboards really in the era of the Doors either. So
Keys are keys, I guess.
yeah. When you say keyboard player, I would not think the Doors. Like the Doors won't come to mind, even though I know they have a organ as a huge like part of their. I do like the first two Doors albums. I'm pretty hit or miss after that. Bike Farmer's working on a Rally International this week. You should see the beautiful cranks he put on it. I'll have to check it out. I feel like I'm going to like his channel without the bike shop better. We were talking about him in the Discord for a while. Mr. Crowley. I don't, man, that sounds familiar, but I don't know it. Flock of Seagulls. I don't have a problem with Flock of Seagulls, but I've never listened to anything but their top 40 hits. You know, like I've never listened to a Flock of Seagulls record. That's Michigan Biker said Doors, and again, I guess that just depends on whether you want to make that distinction or not. Like, I mean, I guess the Mummies. I love the Mummies, but that's an organ like the Doors. I don't really think of it as like a keyboard player. So much cooler.
Google AI said the Damned have.
The Damned, yeah. I guess that's true. Their first record, you wouldn't think of them as a keyboard-based band, but they do
It
have a
said
keyboard
predominantly the Black Album.
player. Yeah, that's later. New Rose is their first single. Is that the name? No, the first album just called Damned. But New Rose is the lead single on it. Yeah, so Naptown, you said every time you try to think of bands you like with keyboard players, you keep coming up with Hammond B3 players instead, which I just think is a different thing. I don't know. I guess depends on, again, just very dumb nuance that's what music is like bikes, that we would argue about the same kind of way. So, Rick Wakeman? Who's Rick Wakeman? I know that name just like I know the Mr. Crowley, but I don't know. I couldn't name anything. The Kinks don't have a keyboard player. So, again, that's like the Clash. Like the Clash always have piano in their songs, but there's no keyboard player on, like, not that they never had one, but of the actual members of the Kinks, nobody is a keyboard player. They're a two-guitar rock and roll band. Love the Kinks, by the way. Oh, I speaking of talking about organs, one just came to mind. Absolutely love the Small Faces, Ronnie Lane. But again, that would be an organ. That'd probably be a Hammond. So would you say keyboard player? But the Small Faces would be, if we're just talking about keys, you know, one of my favorite bands of all time. And so compared to the Kinks, that's the difference. On stage, the Kinks have two guitars, a bass, you know, drums. On stage, the Small Faces have always had an organ.
Yeah, it's got to be on stage to count.
Yeah,
Either way. Right.
Yeah. And not somebody like, because sometimes the Black Keys have a keyboard player
Right.
on stage. That's not the Black Keys. That's not Dan and Pat. Like, Green Day has like 4 other people on stage when you
Right.
see them now. Those other guys never are not called Green Day.
That's not Green Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if we're not counting organs, I'm standing by Devo and Blondie. If we're counting organs, Small Faces, the Mummies, you know. Tom Waits. It's harder to say when someone, yeah. Paul Weller goes over and plays at the piano sometimes.
Yeah, I
but
was just
wouldn't
going to
call him
say
a-
something like that, right?
Yeah, that's not the same. Like, when I see Paul Weller live, I was just talking to, well, I'm not supposed to say anything. Mr. Natty might be cutting Paul Weller's hair in a couple weeks. He's back in the UK, so I said I'm on my way. Emerson, Lake, and Palmer, that could count for you. I don't like that. Genesis, yeah, another band that I like. It's not my cup of tea. Like, I would rather listen to like 80s Genesis. Like, I can't dance.
I can't dance.
Only thing about me is the way that I walk. I don't like prog rock. I don't. So, yeah. Ray Charles, but man, he's a piano player. That's so different to me.
That's
like,
not a keys player.
It's not a keys player. I love Ray Charles too, but he's a piano player. Like, that's like a guitar player. Like, you would, yeah. I don't, if I was going to argue that, I would argue that he is not a keyboard player. Oh wow, this really lit up the chat. I didn't realize I was
Really
I was already caught up on
hit a
everything.
nerve there.
Stevie Wonder again, piano player. Stevie Wonder's great, but he's a piano player. Stray Cats? Stray Cats are a 3-piece, right?
Oh, I don't know anything about them.
You know something about them. You know who the singer is.
Stray Cats.
Brian Setzer?
Well, that's why I don't care about
Before Brian Setzer Orchestra.
it. Same thing.
You know Rock This Town. Gonna rock this town, rock it inside out. Don't, don't.
Yeah, I know that song.
Yeah.
Never knew it was them.
I think they're a three-piece. I don't think there was there? Look up the Stray Cats. I don't think there's.
It's a 3-piece.
Yeah, it's a guitar, cello bass, like a upright.
Yeah, the upright bass.
Cello bass, upright bass. Ed Walker said organs do not count. A purist. Your mom is an organ player.
That's what I was laughing about earlier.
Will you play the skin flute? Pink Floyd. Again, that'd be depends on what era. Originally organ, later keyboards. I do like very early Pink Floyd. I don't really care about the '70s Pink Floyd stuff. I like what's his name era Pink Floyd. Who's the original singer of Pink Floyd? Went crazy. Madcap. The Madcap. Oh, come on. Sid Barrett. Got it. Yeah, Sid Barrett era Pink Floyd. I'm not really a big fan of like Dark Side or any of that shit. Izzy Isborn, Mr. Crowley. That all sounds familiar, but I can't place it. Elliot said, how are people talking about keyboard players and nobody's mentioning Garth Hudson of the band? Don't mind the band, especially when they actually were Bob Dylan's backing band, but I would not have been able to name Garth Hudson, to be 100% honest. Oh. Isidore's trying to talk about bikes. I got 2 bikes, and I think I kind of should get 3-speed cruiser battery concerns. Yeah, I guess if you're riding e-bikes, but you're just looking to have a 3-speed cruiser, like how far would you be riding the 3-speed cruiser? Because that's a bike that I don't think you would ride super far, right? Again, that's out of my element. Can we bring Aaron on to talk about birds? Oh my God. Yes, we can. Ninja, have you, I don't know where you picked this up on, but Aaron has gone off the deep end on the bird shit. That's all bird shit. That's all I hear about it. I've learned more about birds than I want to know. And part of my job was to know birds back in the day. But yeah, no, and I actually do find it interesting, but she has become a full-on birder, like in these last. Yeah. She would willingly come on and talk about birds. If I'd be like, hey, Aaron, do you want to come on the stream and talk about how your sweet bars are treating you a year later? She'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, hey, do you want to come on the stream? Someone asked about birds. She'd be like, oh, what time? I feel immensely bad for leading us down this route where Tim said he didn't mind listening to Flock of Seagulls and has listened to their top 40 hits. Flock of Seagulls is Iran, right?
No.
No, they're Dun Dun Get Away. Tainted Love. Is Flock of Seagulls Tainted Love or?
I don't think so. You're thinking of Duran Duran?
No, neither of those are Duran Duran.
I don't know.
I know that much. Duran Duran is Hungry Like a Wolf.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. What's Flock? I probably only know Flock of Seagulls one main hit.
They got some hits.
It's either Iran or Tainted Love.
Iran, yeah.
Iran. And everyone used to, Iran is so far away. Now it seems a lot closer. If we want to get real. Yeah, she likes birds. You're not, yeah. And she is old. I like that we've got a little bit of Ricky still talking about turkeys and wolves and mountain lions. Tiny bit of e-bikes. Mostly keyboards, though. Isildur said 70s rock most are huge Supertramp fan. That's another one I'd have to look up the tunes to know who sings Tainted Love. It's gonna drive me crazy that I missed this one because I should know that. Favorite thing about Tainted Love is when they go into playing Where Did Our Love Go at the end, but most radio stations now cut that off, which pisses me off to no end.
Soft Cell.
Soft Cell. Ah, yeah. I love Tainted Love. It's a great song. Oh, Rick Wakeman is yes. Yeah, that is not my cup of tea. I could do without any of that.
Yeah, you should have prefaced that it's got to be a certain genre too. Like,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, keyboard player in a fucking trash band doesn't matter to me. This will bring out the old Tim faster than anything. The polite Tim that Englishman thought I was will be gone when we start arguing about music. Oh no, I mentioned Devo. Yeah, Devo's definitely keyboard heavy. They're a keyboard band. Like, I mean, 100%. Who played guitar for DLR at the beginning of Jump? And like, I mean, like the Who is the first band to have like really driving keyboards in a song, but I still wouldn't call the Who a keyboard band, even though like Quadrophenia is a bunch of fucking keyboard garbage. But I still wouldn't call them a keyboard band, even though they've made a bunch of shit. Oh, Rick Wakeman played in Kent. I wonder, Rob, was that at the theater at the top of the hill? Because I think I remember seeing his name on their marquee when I was riding up Main Street. Yeah, the Kinks are, to me, like, man, it's hard to say anyone's better than the Beatles because the Beatles are the fucking Beatles. It's hard to say anyone's better than the Stones because the Stones are the Stones. But when it comes down to it, albums like Kinda Kinks is easily in my top 10 albums of all time. And that's, I mean, a list that's already filled out with the first Clash record, the first Jam record, you know. But yeah, the Kinks are fucking awesome. Yeah, and I also like their stuff into the 70s way more than other 60s bands that kept going, which, yeah, because I don't care about the Who 70s stuff, and I love the Who. Like, I love My Generation, the album, not just the song. And yeah, love the Rolling Stones. Don't really care that much about most of their 70s stuff. Like Kinks stayed like a good band. Yeah. Black Keys, hell yeah, I seen them a lot. That's dope. West. This guy right here was in a band with Pat for a while. 10% Animal.
Very shortly.
10% Animal. Yeah, Pat's a friend of me and Dave's. Now I haven't talked to him for a while, but if he posts something on Instagram and I'm buzzed, I might comment and he would give me a double tap or something, but that's I did comment when he posted a picture of his son with sunglasses on that he looked like he could be in Teen Generate, and then that's a band I guarantee nobody in this chat knows. T-Star said there was a B3 in your living room growing up, and the only song you figured out was 98 Tears. 98 Tears? 90, isn't it 96? 98 Tears? You gotta cry, 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 cry. 98 Tears? Why does that sound wrong to me right now? Could you Google that one?
96.
96 Tears, yeah. Who sings that? Question mark and the Mysterians?
Yep.
Ha! Me and my dad have done music trivia before, and we crush between our two, like nerdy, like where the stuff like that just sticks. Music for me sticks. Like, I am, like, again, where Erin's like, I don't know who the guitar player in that band is. She was like, when she told me she didn't know what like songs, like Beatles songs, the albums are on, and she likes the Beatles, I was just like, what do you mean you don't know what? And she's like, I don't know what era they are either.
Oh, I
And
don't
I'm
know
like,
any of
you don't
that.
know that Hey Jude and Hard Day's Night like went end of the spectrum? And she's like, no. And I'm like, that blew my mind. I'm like, yeah, I could name them probably in order. Like, I mean, the albums I definitely could, but I mean, like the tracks of every song from the beginning of the Beatles to the end in order.
I never cared about any of that.
Yeah, yeah, I know what year everything, yeah, came out is. Like I know the year every Jam record came out. I know the year every Clash record came out. I know the year every Kinks and Beatles record came out. Stones record, up until a point. Like I said, past the '70s, I went. I guess Some Girls is probably '78, but I wouldn't bet money on that. But '60s, I do know. Yeah. I know Help is '65. I know Hard Day's Night is '64. Yeah. Sgt. Pepper's is '67. Typo Negative, Gary Pearson. I don't. That's a band. I know that name, and I know nothing, absolutely nothing about them. It's not a comment, good or bad. Man, we really have gone down a rabbit hole. Look at all these comments. We get into music. People know this from early streams. I'm just going to ramble. So there we go. Steve Winwood. Yeah, I do like some Steve Winwood soul stuff, but I also really like some Traffic, and I like some Spencer Davis Group. See, I am a total fucking nerd. Now you guys have hit the first two Traffic albums, Mr. Fantasy, you know. Does Steve Winwood, is he the keyboard player? Is he actually the keyboard player? Probably is, huh? But then again, in the 80s, you get that breakdown and Bring Me a Higher Love, man. I'm all over that. Social Distortion have a live keys player for a couple of tours. Yeah. Again, though, no one thinks of Social Distortion as a keyboard band. They think of them as a wife beater and 50s haircut band. I meant the t-shirts. Stone Roses. Mr. Natty, what's up? I mean, obviously there's a ton of keys in the Stone Roses. Does one of the main members play them live? I've actually barely ever watched the Stone Roses like on YouTube or anything like that. I mean, I like everything they ever did for the most part, especially the first record. I mean, pretty much inventing Britpop single-handedly, in my humble opinion. But yeah, does Ian Brown play keyboards? I actually don't know the answer to that. That's crazy for how much I've listened to the Stone Roses. Style Council. Speaking of Mr. Natty, trying to think of a good keyboard band, the Style Council. After Paul Weller left the Jam, he literally formed a band with a keyboard player. So. Another bike comment ruining our music talk.
Get that
Just
outta
kidding.
here.
This is what we're supposed to be doing. Slowly gaining confidence to bike next to cars. 50-year-old and new biker here. Sending greetings from Toronto. Awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, it really does. It just takes experience. Yeah. Mountain the Hoople? Do you like the first Mountain the Hoople record? I guess I would not have known if there's a keyboard player that's an integral part of the band. Eric Carmen? Eric Carmen is the Raspberries? I'm going too fast for you to Google all this.
Yeah.
Tell me what you got so far. Eric Carmen. I feel like he's in the Raspberries. The Raspberries came out of a 60s band. The Outsiders?
That's what popped up. Yeah, Raspberries.
What was the original version of the Raspberries? Was it the Outsiders? No, the Choir. The Choir, right?
That's two different questions there.
No, did the Choir become kind of the Raspberries? Like, this is Eric Carmen and the Choir.
Oh no, I said nothing about that.
No. The Choir is an Ohio band that has one of the greatest songs of all time, and now it's cold outside. And now it's cold outside. And I think they turned into the Raspberries. I could be wrong. I went to high school with a kid whose dad was in the Choir. And not just any choir.
Just in the church choir. You all this time have just thought he was in the
choir.
Ohio band.
Yeah, he was just in a. Yeah. They're Cleveland. I think the choir was a Cleveland band, and I think Aaron Carmen was not in the choir, but the rest of the band ended up forming the Raspberries. This could be. Like I say, I've forgotten more than I ever knew, but I still know a shitload. Stray Cats is a power trio. Yeah, of course. Top 5 guitar.
You are correct.
I am correct. The choir became the Raspberries. Hell yeah. Still got it.
It's basically the choir with Eric Carmen.
All right. Why does stuff like this? I always feel like stuff like this stays in my mind, and that's why I'm so stupid about so many other things. There's always so many wrinkles you could put in that brain. I like to ride my bikes. I just bought a Rally road bike from the 80s, aluminum and steel frame with Shimano 600 group set. Any thoughts? Yeah, it would be, if it had Shimano 600 on it, and it's probably decent. The weird thing is, Rally is all over the place. They're like saying Trek. Trek made low-end bikes and high-end bikes, so it's hard to say. I would say if it has Shimano 600 on it, which is the forerunner to Ultegra, right? It's probably decent, but my limitation would be it probably can only put narrow tires on it, which, yeah, as a vintage road bike, probably a good vintage road bike. As a bike I would ride right now, probably not, even though I have a wall of bikes like that. But Huffy sold bikes with the Rally name on it, so if it says Rally, I have one a frame sitting right there, and I can't think of what the head tube says. But there's something about Rally USA, and then it's just a Huffy, and it's not a good bike. But I don't think anyone would put Shimano 600 on one of those Huffies. So, oh wow, you guys are just answering the Sid Barrett question. I'm not gonna catch up tonight. We're gonna have to end the stream before I see all the comments. What's the pirate metal band that blew up a little bit a few years ago? Their singer played guitar live. I do not know. Ozzy Osbourne would not consider a keyboard band. I mean, Ozzy solo, even, I get what you're saying, but who are my top 3 bassists of all time? Well, Bruce Foxton would be number 1. Because every bass line I played was pretty much ripped off directly from him. Austin Family Man Barrett from the Wailers, originally from the Upsetters, Lee Perry's studio band. Who I got to see live before he died. And I got to see Foxton, but not with the Jam. I got to see Foxton play with Stiff Little Fingers.
Really?
Yeah. Bruce Foxton was playing with Stiff Little Fingers in the 90s, and I got to see him play live. After that, it
You
probably
just named
become-
3.
Did I name 3?
Yeah.
No, Foxton and Austin Family Man Barrett. What was the third one I named?
Oh, I thought.
No, Foxton from the
I
Jam.
thought
played
Foxton was
played with
the
Stiff
third.
It becomes a pretty and Whistle. It's got to be at Whistle. I mean, that would be my top 3. Mr. Nate, I cut Billy Preston's hair in a dirty hotel in Hyde Park. That's a keyboard player. Hell yeah, that's a keyboard player. I mean, Billy Preston, yeah, one of the greatest keyboard players of all time. If we're calling the keys, would have been an organ player early on, right? Lemmy, that's a good one. Kim Gordon, yeah, a couple good bass players. We're going bass players. I did get to see Lemmy. I saw Motorhead right before Lemmy died in Detroit, and it was fucking awesome. Yeah. All right, let's see if I could get anywhere. Depeche Mode, yeah, huge synth band.
Oh my
Not my-
God, you're all the way back there.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
What's up, Racer? I did mention you in relation to bikes way earlier, for the record. All right, we got to catch up here. Let's see. Grateful Dead, not my cup of tea either. These are all soft sell comments. New Order, I do like New Order. That would be a keyboard band. Yeah.
You're never gonna catch up. You're like ungodly far behind.
Ungodly far away. All right.
Somebody's in here trying to say the Dead Milkmen.
Dead Milkman isn't a keyboard band.
Keyboard forward.
Punk Rock Girl doesn't have a keyboard forward song.
I don't agree with
And
that.
that's their
comment.
biggest hit. And I mean, it's not just their biggest hit. It is one of the greatest songs.
Yeah, right. I don't agree with that.
Nah, Dead Milkman. No way. Love the Dead Milkman. You're not a keyboard band. Did anyone say Kraftwerk? Like, go with Kraftwerk. Steve Winwood is the keyboard player. All right, yeah. Then he would be up in my top 10 for sure. Elton John? Ah, come on. Fuck Elton John. At the Kent stage. Yep, that was right. Tim prefers his bands like his bikes old. Well, at this age, even bands that I thought were new are now old. Mumford and Sons? I'm not a fan. I don't hate them. I just they annoy me. All right, should we wrap this up? I'm not going to ever finish this. We're already way off the beat. We're never going to. I can't bring this back around to anything. I'm trying to glance at everything. The Cars? Yeah. Nigel Ippin's son played keys in the Stone Roses. Okay. Have you ever heard Ian Brown live? That guy actually can't sing that well. He sings really good on the records, but he does not sing very good in person. Dean Martin? Talk about me liking old music. Samuel said, "Who's your favorite rapper, though?" Who is my favorite rapper? I mean, not a rapper, but a hip hop group. I mean, again, talk about being old. It would be Run DMC, and that's such a white guy answer. I'm aware. I am what I am. Who's the guy who sings The Message? That would be the next biggest white guy answer for a hip hop group. Who sings The Message?
The Message?
Yeah, you know The Message. That's one of like the earliest popular hip hop songs. Freddie 5 and the Freddie 5.
Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five?
Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. Freddie 5.
Freddy 5.
Grandmaster Flashes. Rickenbackers or Fender basses, and why? Fenders because I could afford them. Rickenbackers because
Because
they look way cooler. Yeah. Again, talking about Bruce Foxen, my favorite bass player, played a Rick. Did Paul from the Clash ever play a Rick? He did play a Fender Jazz, but I think early on he played a Rick too. And then, what about the original bass player from the Sex Pistols? I think he played a Rick too. Glenn Matlock.
Sure.
Did Glenn Matlock play a Rick? I feel like he did. Who did the Sex Pistols? Steve Jones and Glenn Matlock stole their instruments from a major touring act. They broke in and stole it. I did break a string and borrow a Rick bass, the exact one I like from a dude, Robbie from Radar Secret Service. But that cover over the strings at the bottom is exactly where my hand hit, so it was really hard for me to play. That comes right off. It's not. I don't know what it does, but hey, what's up, Kenny? I thought you were ending the stream. You know how it goes. Like we always say, all bets are off after 10 o'clock. So, bikes till 10, anything after 10. Stewart seems like it should be the most relevant Dead Milkman song. I would say VFW, Veterans of a Fucked Up World, would be the most relevant Dead Milkman song. Go kill a cop, then drink till you drop. Maybe that's my advice in a fucked up world. My bass is a Fender Jazz bass, a Mexican-made Fender Jazz bass. Never, didn't have the money when we were in bands to buy. Like, if I was playing now and still really into it, I would own like a Rick. What are those? The 3000 series. I can't even remember. But the one thing I always liked about the one that Bruce Fox in the Jam played, he had a number, but it didn't have a sunburst. It was just a solid red, and I've never seen that. And I don't know if that was you bought that new in the 70s, but that's the one I would want. The one I borrowed was like the red sunburst, and they still look beautiful, and the all black ones still look beautiful, but there is an all red one with it's just painted solid red, and that would be the one I would want if I was just going to buy my dream bass and actually do something with it. Modest Mouse. I know Modest Mouse. I've listened to a few records, but I would not even be able to name their lineup or who are the like normal members and what they play at all. Do you remember that time we were like going to Thursdays with Matt? What's Matt's last name?
Clark.
Clark. And their one hit came on the radio, and I was like, "Oh, I bet we hear this song tonight." And Matt was like, "I bet it's playing when we walk in." And then we walked in, it was playing, and we were all like, "Oh my god!" What is the name of that song? I took my boat out to a cop car the other day.
Something. Float on.
Float on, yeah. I had so many friends who were like not into music who were like, "Have you heard this new band, Modest Mouse?" I'm like, "They're not a new band, goddammit. It just had a hit." I feel like I'm into a different podcast now.
You got some real traction in the chat, though, so you
Yeah.
might be
Yeah,
onto
maybe
something.
Yeah, every time we've gone down the music rabbit hole, it's always been people are into it. But yeah. Hey, what's up, Nongsky? All right, let's wrap it up. So, anyways, it's been fun. Like I said, it's been a long time since you guys have got me going on the music tangent, and when I do, it's definitely hard to stop. It's a train. All right, yeah, wrap it up. I think me and Party Size next week are going to pick up on the bike photos. So if you were in the chat last week and we didn't get to your bike, I think we're going to start where we left off, see how far we get. If we get through it all, then I'll open it back up. If not, but so yeah, if you were here last week and you want to comment on the bikes, come back around. So yeah, and as far as other stuff on the channel goes, I have nothing planned. And oh yeah, doing an Akron Coffee Roaster ride on Sunday. So if you're in the area, follow Akron Coffee Roasters on Instagram. You can find the information. So that'll be a ride I'm going to be at, and I'm sure I'm going to make a video about that. So, all right. See you in the next one.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this time.
Fitzwater photo.